What's up, y'all? So we're going to keep the conversation going on crossover scans. So last time we talked about the MACD signal cross. We talked about the golden cross. So today we're going to talk about RSI cross scans. So the RSI is really an important indicator in letting you know whether a stock is overvalued or undervalued. And so I'm going to show you how to manipulate the when you're writing the scan so you can look specifically for the value that you're looking for in a stock. So we're going to start off looking for stocks that are below the 30, which is kind of like the bar of what's undervalued. And then we'll look at some that are above the 30, right? So they're just warming up. And then we'll even take a look at some that are, below 70 and above 70, which is considered hot. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So just like always, you're going to start off on the dashboard and you're going to hit new scan. And from here, you're going to see that it's already set up for you with the first line of a type of stock. Same as always with the daily moving average, simple moving average of 20 and a volume over 40,000. And we're going to open up a new line and we're going to start with and, because we're building from the first line and we're looking for, first we're going to start off looking for RSI below 30. So these are going to be cold stocks. So very simple. You're going to look for 30, which is a constant, crossed RSI and we use 14, right? And I know it might seem kind of weird that we're using 30 as a constant, but the way I like to think about it is like if you're looking for RSI crossing above 30, you would write RSI cross 30. And so if you're looking for the opposite of that, you would just flip the code so that it's now 30 crossing the RSI 14, which when I run it, you'll see it makes a lot more sense. So we'll go ahead and click check syntax, make sure everything looks good, which it does, and then we'll go ahead and run the scan. So we'll see 119 results for last market close, March 24th. And let's look at this first one. It's a consumer discretionary sector, and it's AFYA. And so we can already tell, if you know about StockCharts, you can already tell that it's going to be kind of cold just because the last few months have been on a downtrend overall. But let's look at the RSI, and we can see here in the RSI, it's actually just, it just hit 30 or is just crossing into the 30 line. So it's 28 is actually below 30. So since the last market close, it's dropped below the 30 line, right? So this is one that you would not want to go long on or like invest in an uptrend. But if you were shorting stocks, this might be one that you could consider. I don't know too much about shorting stocks, so this isn't like professional advice, but this is something that you could consider holding on in your watch list and waiting for it to warm back up and waiting for the signal to start buying when it starts to go back up. But this is definitely an undervalued stock. It will eventually go up. The 200-day, which is the red line, shows that in the last 200 days of trading, which is a whole year essentially, it's been trading at $24.50. And right now it's at $19.16. So if you were to wait until it was ripe, then you could invest in it and you'd at least clear that $24.50. So that's something to think about. So let's look at RSI. Let's actually look at one more. Let's look at healthcare, right? This one is going to be AGEN. And similarly, you can see it's on a downtrend right now. So the RSI just cleared 30. It's now at 29.19. If you look at the other indicators, they're also showing that you wouldn't want to invest in this right now, but it is something to put on a watch list if you're waiting. Similar to the 200, it's at 277. For the last year on average, it's been at $3.84. So this is a way to look for stocks that are undervalued that you would consider buying now. If you're confident, you could buy them now, but you might want to wait for it to kind of level out because it could still be dropping. So this is how you find those with an RSI below 30. So let's take a look at looking for an RSI above 30. And so for this one, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to flip it, right? So now we're going to do RSI 14 is the automatic, and we're going to look for crossing 30. All right, we're going to close this bracket off, and we're going to run it. All right, we're going to see 21 stocks here. So let's look at this first one, AGRX, right? And this one just crossed 30. It did a big jump. As you can see, when the market closed, it went up 13%. So before the market closed, it was under 30, and now it's above. Now it's in 40. So if you look here, you can see it jumped. You know, it's been really volatile today. You can see that the high was a little above about 2.25, and you look at the low, it was at 2, but it ended up closing at 2.13. If you look at the other indicators, it looks like this would actually be a stock you might want to consider. I think I might even want to consider trading on. So this is something that to consider, right? Like, it's undervalued. I mean, it's, you know, it's not super undervalued, but it's, you know, it just moved above the 30, so it's not at its true potential or its true value. So definitely consider looking at RSIs that have just crossed the 30 in an uptrend. Those would be really good stocks to consider investing in. Now let's look at 70. It's the same thing. We're looking at ones that are hot now. So if I were to just change that from 30 to 70 and run that scan, let's look at this first, or let's look at the second one, AHR.V. This one looks kind of like a crappy stock. It looks like a micro penny stock, but you can see that the RSI here is super hot. It went from below the it went from way above, almost hitting 90, which is super overvalued, to dropping below, and then between the market closed, it popped back up. So that's why we're seeing it as one that just crossed above 70. But it's kind of been above 70. This is not actually a stock I would even consider even looking at because of, you know, I don't even know. Yeah, let's just move along from that. So let's look at this other one, APTO. This one's been really popular today. So let's look at APTO. And this one kind of took off today. So as you can see, this one cleared the 70. It jumped from being super undervalued at about 40. I mean, not super undervalued, but it being, kind of on the lower end of its value of the RSI to jumping to 78. And look at the percent increase. That's 66%. If you miss this, I wouldn't even consider, jumping into this at this point because it's already taken off. All the other indicators just show that it just took off. This is not common, but for those of you that got in on this, you got a good one. So let's now look at the other end of that. So let's go back to our workbench and let's cross this with 70. Kind of went back a little bit. So now we're looking at those that just crossed under the 70 for the RSI. So let's run this scan. And we're going to do utilities. We're going to do this first one. And you can see here that it just crossed under the 70. It's at 69, right? So this is a sign that this one, if you are, if you're thinking about shorting a stock, this might be one that you might want to consider shorting because it looks like it's getting ready to go on a downtrend, right? So like I said, when it comes to shorting stocks, I'm not professional, but if you're looking to short a stock, you want it to be getting ready for a downtrend, right? So this is something to consider. But overall, this is another indicator. I know RSI is a really popular one. I hope this is helpful. This one came up with 88 results, right? Looking at the last market close. Like I said in the first video about the golden cross, if you were to be looking at this when the market is open, the market is closed right now, then you would be seeing the intraday trade, and that updates on StockCharts every 3 minutes or so. So you're getting almost, it's not live, but it's pretty damn close. So I hope this video was helpful for y'all. Let me know what your thoughts are, but peace and love. Take care.